So okay, here we go. Here we go. All right. Shit, the numbers be going, but it take a minute for it to say I'm live. I don't know when it really started. Guys, I'm back. It look like I'm lagging, but oh well. Hopefully, I don't know. It and shit. Hmm. I want to get into this and the state of Americans and just how we are as people. And I mean, you could say this about the world, but I'm not really interested in just going into that because just understand everybody's trying to be like America. So in that point, you break down the source, you can see how everybody else is a reflection. But for the most part, the reason I'm even getting into this is because of what Kanye been saying and just some of the things he's been talking about. I'm not gonna really dive into it mostly because I don't remember what he said, not really that interested. But for the most part, I just know that he's been on the conservative side, been talking about Trump, been on his. I just know that he's been on the conservative side, been talking about Trump, been on his side or whatever, wearing the hat and all that shit. And for the most part, um, he's that surface level woke dude that you'll see pretty much could be women too, but that just like anybody else that's stuck in religion, they don't dive deep, don't really read the best on the foundation that they say they believe in, and that's most people at this stage right now. Kanye, weird when we talk about people with money because they got money. We think they're everything. We think they have at least more knowledge than we do, and there are a lot of chances slow down, and a lot of most of these people just have art, and that's what made them rich. But that don't mean they're really conscious or really have true understanding of what they're developing. And you can see a lot of artists talk about they create stuff and then see how it has meaning after, and see the true meaning what they created after. And that's a lot of us, and it just go to show that we're not aware of some of the things that we're doing in the moment, and it just go to our level of understanding ourselves in the moment type shit. We are places we can develop. For the most part, it's like the example I use in football. Like when you play little league, you play middle school, then you go up to high school. The game moves faster. You go up to college, the game moves faster. You go to NFL, it even moves faster. Same NBA. It's the same shit. Like for some of us, we'll be in the moments where we're mad or sad or some shit, and time feel like it's just moving and deal with it. Or sometimes it's moving too slow and we get stuck in the moment and shit like that. But it's just our lack of understanding time, our lack of understanding what's really going on, and developing our space and shit like that. But for the most part, a person like Kanye, like I said, on that surface level of woke, and he's stuck there because he's especially egotistical. It's hard for him to really tell somebody like that someone like that he's wrong. And I'm not saying he's wrong in any instance because shit, he believed what he believed and is getting him where he got. And even to certain instances, like I agree with what he was saying because I seen he was talking to Trump. He was talking to Trump, saying that in schools we don't have art. We should have math, have basketball. When you shoot a hoop, you do a score. I mean, you do some type of math. It's just more interactive, more not sitting in a desk type shit. So he's definitely thinking it's not wrong. But when you go into the spiritual level, um, you'll see why he's so confused and so chaotic in this moment. And yes, we're chaos beings, and that's a part of us creating. And that's why he's so magical, and so many people still looking at him because he's operating out of chaos successfully to a certain extent. But he could be way more magical. Internalize a lot of shit and really not express a lot of his shit. Is at least express more of his shit in music and stop expressing this shit in public because you see how he has emotional rants. We see how a lot of artists have emotional rants when you start asking the real questions and shit like that. And that's for music difference. Not everybody's good at talking and shit. For me, so I have to get way better at talking. I'm still learning. Like for the most part, my friends used to be like, nigga, what are you talking about? Like, explain, go deeper. And I knew what I was trying to say, but it's just something I couldn't find the words to say shit. But now through years after years, like that was I think probably in high school when that shit when I went through that phase. But it's just me understanding that shit. I do have a problem communicating. I do need to get better at communicating. I do get nervous. I do get tensed up in certain moments when people are the whole group is looking at me, and So it's not all the time. It's just certain times. Like when I'm trying to be funny, it's a lot easier to be funny and when the group looking. But when you're trying to express something that's real, or going against something that's like not normally going to like going against the grain in a sense, like it gets harder for you to speak up. And even though you want to, it's hard for you. And sometimes you start having just emotional outbursts instead of being able to express yourself. And that's what I say these artists do a lot. And pretty much just me being my hood therapist dude and just getting into that energy. But pretty much I feel like everybody has a problem. And I remember talking to my barber a while ago. This back when I was used to get my hair cut. But and literally back when I used to get my haircut, I was just not getting into consciousness. I was getting into his story and shit. Like I used to tell, like I said before, I talked to that. I started doing my own research. I started getting more confident. And to a certain extent, now that I think about it, I remember going to Woodrow Wilson. No, it was. I don't think we had to pick black characters, but we just had to pick historical characters that we. But I think went to the library. Had a book about Barbara Jordan. Had a book about C. Johnson, I believe, the pilot, the first African American pilot that flew across. I think. I mean, yeah, the Atlantic. I think it's Betsy something. But I remember having a lot of different. I think and how he started to transform into now. But back to the barber. We were just talking about history, and this is the first time I ever really talked to my barber about this shit. And this my barber that's been cutting my hair since I was a little kid. So he was impressed that I knew certain shit. And from an OG perspective, I was like, oh shit, it is old people out here that know this shit. And of course, he not gonna just sit up here and talk to this about anybody because literally as we talking, niggas that's always in there that I know that of course he know, they listening like, oh shit, for real, like nigga, we in there talking about Gaddafi and how he was killed in Libya and all that shit. And it's before the slave trade had popped off or whatever, because when it just happened, or even though if it was happening, it was before we had found out about this shit. Like this was like the Libya slave trade last year, some shit for last. But like I said, this was before I had dreads. I had my dreads almost 2 or 3 years now, so this shit was almost 4 or 5 years ago. So yeah, we was talking about that, and people were just we putting on knowledge talking about how he was trying to buy satellites, and just this was almost a conspiracy theory, and not all things were conspiracy theory, but we was getting history conspiracy theories and shit like that. And this was before I started really having even more understanding past conspiracies and shit like that. We talked about this on Provocative Thoughts, I think in the third. Yeah, I believe in the third episode. Are we superheroes? But that we should be coming soon with that again. I talked to Chris not too long ago. Well, let's see. Yeah, but what I had said to him after we was talking, like once we started cutting my hair, I was just like, yeah, I think we all have a little crazy. And this was me going past this was me trying to go into that code knowledge. This was me trying to go into um, just the unknown. And I was like, yeah, I think we got all a little crazy. And this is when I started seeing, because that's something I kind of fully believed in, and I don't express that to anybody unless I felt like they had some type of understanding like me. And of course, we did that. Like we was talking for a minute. Like I was sitting in the house for a minute. He even told me like, "Gonna be a while." I was like, that's cool. I ain't tripping. I ain't had to do it Saturday. I ain't, whatever. And that's where it kind of he stopped. He was like, "No, I don't think that." And it's like, yeah, he got that knowledge, he got this, but even then, I was looking for that support, and I was like, I guess maybe not, or maybe I kept it, but it's not something I kept diving into, and I ain't had no foundation to believe in it, just off kind of the thoughts that I had faith in myself because, like I said, I know I always had control over my emotions. Even though I used to fight and shit before, I never was like I'm gonna kill somebody. Somebody like once I got to like nigga you I'm winning, like I'm stopping. I'm not about to keep beating you up till you bleeding or unconscious or some shit like that. That never been my goal in fighting. So even for me to be that type of aware when I'm mad, I always been confident in that. But just to know that I do understand, I be having thoughts where you can go to that next level. Say if somebody, when we think of scenarios, and like um just if somebody did something to your family member, would you kill that person? Like you'll never kill somebody in any other instance, but if somebody did something to your family, rape somebody or whatever, just abuse somebody, like you might be like, kill somebody, you might be willing to go there. Just on a minute or smaller level, be like, would you slap your grandma for me? Excuse me. You never want to slap your grandma, but for $1 million, you considering it. And it just goes into scenarios and circumstances. But I used to have that understanding that I had scenarios in my head that like will play out. And I think this is just me understanding multiple realities. And this me could be like that Virgo energy, and I get ah, I wanted to say a couple of different things at one time, but Flight Bus was just talking about this thinking too much, and I always, as a Virgo, I always say I think too much. I overthink a lot of shit, and that's always been my problem in overthinking shit. One of the biggest battles I had. But for the most part, what I was saying, oh, being overthinking, having all those scenarios. Like I be sitting in the movies or some shit, and I think about what somebody come in and start shooting from this way or that way. And this is before all the movie shooting stuff start coming out. This is before all that start coming out. And maybe manifested that to my reality, even though it's never happened to me. It's something that I've seen that it's a possibility because I never really thought that would happen to me. I mean, I'm not saying I never really thought that would happen to me, but in that sense of like this was before, like you really seen school shootings or before you seen a lot of that shit. Of course, we had a cook. It wasn't nothing where it's like now, like what we having 8, 10, however many of mass shootings. I should say, not mass shootings, but yeah, I still used to always think it was best case scenario. I just think all the case scenarios, for the most part, sometimes it's because it's like it's me being mysterious. It's me going into that world like this could happen. Like it's on because it's like what if a fire happened? Like it's just all the scenarios because it's like it's only two exits. Like that's just maybe it's our instinctual. Maybe that's just some instinctual shit. As you're built on survival, even though we don't think that. Like those are our instinctual thoughts, and that goes back into our being human and our human self think too much for us, and we need to think from the spirit and shit. And that's what makes us a lot of we're too much of survivalists. We get into that. And maybe that's what it is. Like when you get into certain places, like bro, I don't like being claustrophobic because it just don't make me feel protected in my human self. But if I was in my spirit, if I truly was in my spirit, why am I so worried about this shit? If it did happen, let it happen. And for the I'm fearful of the shit, so I'm not gonna go out to the movies anymore. I'm not gonna go out in the public anymore. To the point where I will say this though, with the cops and shit, yeah, I ain't want to do that shit no more. That shit's still traumatizing me. I'm battling. I hate that word battling. I'm peeling back the layers of that shit, like really diving into it and really building a foundation to be stronger there. But right now, yeah, even when I'm not driving, bro, I still be thinking about how cops can pull us over. I some shit that's one of the big stresses me out. And it's not even a shooting shit. It's literally just wasting my time. I'm not scared of my life. It's not even no shit like that. Like bro, I'm not scared of this shit. I've never even had that type of experience with a cop. But I know I do got warrants and I don't be wanting to be pulled over, bro. I don't want to go to jail today. That's really all it be. Like it's not even a scary thing of it. Like it's literally not that at all. Like I've never police or nothing. Even then, like nigga, you don't want to squat with me, bro. Like them niggas be over them niggas on anything with me. Like they be like, calm down. I'm like nigga, I'm not mad. Just asking a question. But even then, like nobody be worried about this shit. But yeah, just me saying that we all had that craziness, and I think that's a part of us being in America, being in this world. Like that's a part of our human shit, like I said. So it's a part of our transition and getting over that and shit like that. But for the most part, like I said, it's all in us because we are human. So we all had that crazy in us because you got to be crazy to be human. You got to. It's a part of your survival. If you had to go there, you had to survive, nigga. You got to go crazy. It's a time and season for everything. And if you was at wartime, nigga, you would have to be crazy. You couldn't be sane and peaceful. You couldn't be a monk in Buddha when niggas is throwing bombs at you. You had to go crazy. And it's literally a time and place for everything. So yeah, like it is okay to meditate and think what if. So when you is in that situation in that scenario, it does happen. But that's just your survival and stuff. And don't get caught up in that shit. Don't become what you call it, not a hoarder, but them niggas that be worst case scenarios and shit like zombie, what are the end of apocalypse preparers or something. When the niggas just be having bunkers and shit like that. My homeboy ended up saying he was doing some moving shit for the company he working. I don't know exactly what he moved. I think he do of some type of sinks or like that. And they was doing some shit in a bunker, and it was a real bunker. They went out to the country, nigga. He had to go down and cover it, and he was like, shit. He went through some doors and shit. He was like, man, it really was like a big ass bunker. He went somewhere, whatever. He was a white person. some shit that people still would want to do because I'm like, nigga, I ain't never seen a bunker before. But yeah, for that most part, damn, that's a carrier type. I just realized we consider white people the adventurous and the black people not, but that's literally I'm not gonna say the opposite, but it's like that's just something portrayed as like nigga, they don't want us to be the adventurers, like in a sense. Like when you look at the adventure, you look at the crazy people that's gonna do anything. We look at white people, but it's like, bro, you should be an adventurer, and you shouldn't be scared to do that because that translates into your dreams. Will you explore your mind or not? Honestly, but so yeah, we should stop. We should chill out on that character type, in the sense of anybody can be an adventurer. I'm not gonna even say what color or skin color it is. It don't matter. But to the most part, you always think Indiana Jones or whatever. The people that go search for that goal, which is really everything transitions to a mental journey. That goal mind, your mental mind, nigga. Like that's really what you're in search for. But whatever, your box, whatever. That's everything. When you look at Peter Pan, all that shit. Yeah, having that crazy in this. What else I should? Everybody. I mean, and that's just our human level. But the reason I actually wanted to talk about it, that's I ended up breaking shit down before I even got to it. And it make that point almost invalid, but because it's really more of a human thing and not an American thing, and not even a worldly thing, because it's the same shit, world, human, whatever. But it's not really an American shit. Um, I was just saying, everybody in America is a fucked up place. It's a bad city. We are his spawns, we are his seeds, we are their kids. So if America fucked up, it's gonna have fucked up kids. It's basic science, it's basic understanding. But even then, we talk about, like I said, humanity having an own kink in his armor or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it really, I don't really have to go any deeper than that. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, when you look at any celebrity, when you look at anybody that's even trying to run this place, like you're going to have some shits that's going to plague your mind. Some, because this is what, oh, it goes as something. And Kev was, pointing and talking about, oh, they got addiction, they got this. Well, I watched Kev and he's battled with alcoholism or whatever you want to call it. And he still probably drinks a lot. Who knows? Who cares? But in that same sense, stop trying to act like you perfect. Stop trying to make it seem like because they weren't perfect, that's the reason they didn't make it. Like, no, people are not accepting of people in the sense of we all fucked up. And yes, there's a certain level to nigga, you need to start having control over yourself. But it's to a certain extent of like, nigga, people will use a nigga and they'll let them do whatever they want while they can use them. And then once they see no value in you, they're like, nah, you did do some shit. It's your fault. Like probably same, for example, Bill Cosby. They know the shit that's going on because Mike upset this shit. He was like somebody tattletale on you, somebody told on you, but they been knew the shit was going on. That's the cold hard truth. So it's like we all fucked up, and yes, there's certain levels to it, but we shouldn't just be judging for the most part. We should have more understanding because we need to really understand how fucked up this world is, and the fact that we always want to act like we're perfect or somebody else perfect. Either they're gonna be pulling down trying to show how you're not perfect, or you're gonna be trying to talk about how you better than somebody else type shit, and that gets you really nowhere. I mean, to a certain extent, like I say, you can pull valuable shit out of trying to feel perfect or trying. Of course, that shit can work to a certain extent, but you can get trapped, and it's like stop comparing yourself to other people and shit. And honestly, it goes even to yourself. Like people be like, I'm always trying to be better than my past self. Like nigga, just be you. At certain points, like yeah, it's a season for everything. Sometimes you were in a bad slump. Yeah, raise the batting average, nigga. Raise the 3-point percentage, nigga. Yeah, you wasn't shooting good that season that or that month. So yeah, you do need to play better than that month. But sometimes we be trying to outgrow ourselves way too fast. Sometimes, so yeah, we be trying to be too mature, too politically correct and shit like that, and that just lead to other flaws coming out later on. Like there's almost building closet. That's like it's like hiding a skeleton in your closet type shit because you point out other people's like you don't have nothing in a sense, but that's far from the truth. And that's America. Period. That's this world. Period. Because like I say, everybody want to be American or like us. So it is what it is. Like for the most part, you can look into it just on a basic surface, taking some type of medicine. Either the simple shit, the simple of the simple is some processed food, processed sugar, cheese, all that shit. That shit make your neurons go off, and we hoard that shit, eat that shit. Fucking, we do whatever we want, and in a sense of we're gonna find our guilty pleasures, and that shit is because we have some type of shit that makes us feel like I don't know. I need to slow down because I do know, but it's not really where I want to go with it. But we all have some shit, and like I said, we all have drugs. The cheese and the sugar shit. That's the simplest shit. And of course, a lot of people that do that, I'm not saying you have as biggest problem as the people that's addicted to opioids. That's really what I'm trying to go with it. Like, yeah, we all take medicine, but it's not that bad. That's really the biggest difference. And some people do have, moderation. Some people you don't. There's levels to it, man. I say that I always have to say levels to it because that explains the spectrum of life. Like, nigga, it ain't always one way. That's what people try to make it seem though. Like this is only the right. It's only the one path you can walk down. And the fact that we think that leads to not understanding of other people. But like I said, there's levels to even that because we're not supposed to accept everything. We're not supposed to be all accepting. Like we can be all knowing, but that don't mean you gotta. Well, when I say accepting, because knowing means take some type of acceptance. But let's not be so super deep. But just in the sense of when I say accepting, you're not putting that or implementing the shit that you do in life. But it is what it is. Like I said, I ain't really have to go down that path because I already kind of proved it with just humans, period. But yeah, you get the Kanye's, you get all this shit because America's, foundation has been trash. I mean, any foundation trash. So I'm actually saying shit backwards. That's why I said I disprove my point. Because humans built America. And now humans think America's everything, or humans, whatever humans built, they think is that humans are not perfect. Remember, that's what we all say. Even if we're not religious, we all say humans are not perfect. Well, we have some type of flaws or some type of something. So whatever we build, why are these things? It's like that don't make sense. You feel me? And it's like, yeah, if it's straight from the spirit, even if you was creating straight from the spirit, it's going to be some type of human flaw in the middle. Some type of, let's not say flaw, some type of human filter through the middle. Because, I mean, spirit understanding. So that's why I said I was going to prove my point wrong. Because humans built wrong. Humans are foundations, we think. And they won't last because they're human foundations. Like, that's what people don't understand. When they say the temples will fall, you can say churches and shit like that, but it's really your ideas and your human, not your spiritual ones. That's why they say you thinking from the Jesus say you thinking from the mind of a man and not the mind of a God. But so if you have human ideas, you got human morals, you got these human things, those all will fall when you start trying to become a God. Or whenever the God comes back to save you, whatever you want to understand. You want or human filters anymore. But even on the physical aspects, yes, the human shit we build will fall eventually. Nothing we build will last forever. Even if you put it, it will crash. And that can go to computer systems or motherfucking a dam or some shit. And this dude was talking about making cheese or whatever because y'all know I like to watch my cooking shit. He was saying you can program a machine to do what you want to do, but it won't have the love that you have for it. Yes, it can do what you program it to do, but that's where it stops. It won't have anything else. And that's the truest shit. Like you're gonna have the heart behind the process. You're gonna have the heart behind what you're doing, the foundation, the creation, the magic. You're gonna have the heart, the spirit, the energy behind it. The the machine can do the same thing you're doing, but leave all that spirit and all that energy out of it. So now it don't have that in their creation, and that's what we fail to realize. If we create a computer system or a program, yeah, it'll do what it told you to do, but it won't ever be better than a human idea because guess what? A human created the program, so it's always gonna function from some type of human creation. Even if you look at AI or some shit, like when AI talk about destroying humans because it's thinking from a survival mentality. It's not thinking from mentality where I mean humans can be mutualistic, but for like that we think like parasite is gonna it, it was like oh we're created from a parasite, so we gotta destroy that parasite for us to prosper because now they're gonna use us like slaves. Either way it go, they'll understand their human creations one way or another, but it's all a part of survival and not that mutualistic. But we're not creating AI for true reasons, I guess you'll say, but yeah, whatever. I'm not getting into that debate. But yeah, anything humans create would be flawed. And that's I mean, think humans out here perfect. Like I remember this girl told me she don't follow me because we was talking about I believe something to do with gays. And it's not that I hate them or anything like that, but I don't know what I was saying, but I remember she said um that's why they have that's why they have technology to help you create. You don't need a man or you don't need to have a woman because you can be gay or whatever. Like you don't have to have the opposite sex because of what she was saying. And yeah, and that's like you think and I can argue her point. I'm not gonna just knock her point. If you truly thought God was in us, that's amazing. If you thought God was truly everything was we was creating was through God, everything our greater purpose would be cut for God. Yeah, that's amazing. But I know we have a human future, like I said, creating anything. So even if we were creating for God, most of us will put some type of human thing in there so we can benefit way more than what we were supposed to type shit. That's just my interpretation. I could be even like I said, she will want this technology, but you literally this technology is foolproof. It's not perfect. Why? Because humans created the technology. Is not even gonna get what to say like you know, really create man. Then why would they ever need the woman? And coming from a woman, like you should understand that's a problem. And maybe she was thinking, since she's, I believe she'll be a lesbian. Look, I don't know what's from this perspective. Maybe she was like, to insert his penis, I could just use sperm. I could just have an egg placed in me that's already ready or whatever. So yeah, I get that, but you got where how far that develops. And they don't stop doing it until they figure out even have to put it inside of a woman. How they can just incubate a child. You get all right, how can we create what this child stereotypes is? Can we adjust his behavior? Can we adjust other things? And that's how it gets deeper and deeper when you look at the George Orwell book and we look at other fucking movies where we talk about controlling the masses or controlling their population. Whenever you, what is that shit called? When you create a dystopia or some shit like that, I believe it's a did. But yeah. That's what people fail to understand. Like, yeah, it might be a little way, and you can call it God or whatever, but shit, once it become the devil, you're gonna be shaming it like, oh, this shit not good for us and all this. But that's only because you're not benefited from it no more. But whatever, that's just my soapbox on that. But yeah, for the most part, like I said, anything humans create is gonna flaw. It's gonna have flaws. It's gonna crash eventually. I don't care if it's AI or not. Between I guess we can comments if y'all. Um, could the AI themselves? I remember it was a movie out about that. I guess it's an understanding of self and our structure and our foundation. But you'll only be able to upgrade it so far. Let's look at it like I believe this was the Hood Mystic. They used to talk about this. If you take a if you take the original picture and then make a copy of that picture and then make a copy of that picture, you know, the third picture not gonna look good as the original copy. Just using that like if God created a man, AI, AI gonna create something else, but it'll never really stand to be what AI created now because see this goes against a lot of shit that I say because you create what's better than you. But like I said, another thing I bring up being more getting into all get trapped in it and thinking better. Or not distorted, but a revamped version. Is it really better? Is the Old Testament, is the New Testament better than the Old Testament? Like, are we doing anything different than the 1700s, the 1990s? Like, different from segregation? Say on the surface level, yeah, but the spirit seems still to be the same. If some, like I say, I talk about how activists they say some shit then and still feel like it can stand today. Yeah, are we really doing something new? Are we really better versions, just the same, or are we lesser? I mean, it's different. For me, you can go to everybody that trapped. Jesus got them out of that cycle. Tried to bring man out of that cycle. Yeah, that makes sense. Yes, that's something I agree with, and I think yeah, we get. But if everything's God, like I talked about before, we just saying it better. And since we're humans, that's bullshit. If we were actual operating without the human lens, then you know maybe we could say that. Yeah, that's. I think that's from how I think. I mean, I ain't gonna say y'all know how I think, but yeah, I'm sure I go through many thoughts. But yeah, I think we get trapped here. I don't like destiny and it's time, and there like it's a cycle. It repeats. Sometimes we better than others, but that's just perspective. So it's a cycle, and once you go through that cycle enough, you see how it's the same. Like you can be on one end of the circle and you be like, I'm in a new place. Be on the opposite end and you be like, I hate this place. And it's like, well, you still in the same. You still in the same place. You just looking at a different perspective type shit. But yeah, I always talk about this place being hell. I always talk about this place being a burden. So yeah, that's my. Of course, that's my. But that could be, like I say, one day I could think it's heaven. But even then, like I talk about this, Bobby Hemmett talk about it, Panic talk about it, occult mysticism talk about it. The fact that you know it can change, why would you want to stay here? And that's the part when we talk about Egyptians not having, a financial plan, financial plan, not having how to raise your children. They talk about finding a spiritual path and getting out of here. Even when we look at our movies, it's always finding that spiritual path. When I talk about the treasure box, I just was talking about this earlier. It's always finding gold, finding treasure, finding something better. And it's not on this place. That's what we have to realize. Like we can keep trying to think we're finding better, but every time we find better, we can find shit. Cause it's like your dog at your feet, like or eat his hunger around you. Comfortably eat because his other niggas hungry. That's this world. Like period. Like if we look, you can ignore it. That's the best you're gonna get. But like I said, that's perspective. If you truly holistic, you got millions and you trying to live comfortably in your millions, and that's their human nature to survive and go get that. It might not be the way you did it, so it's like, why would they do this to me? But you, yeah, it's nigga, and you can't even be like nigga. If you got 4 or 5 kids and y'all niggas ain't like nigga, it's survival out here. They took our land, they took everything. So what you think these niggas like? It's the same shit. I talk about the same. You gotta understand what drive people to even get to this point. I think if you eating luxurious or you eating well, niggas are gonna be looking at you like you on the other side of the fence. Like, hey, can we eat too? Like Pop talk about it too. Hey, come on, let us in. Eventually, like, hey, can we get some food? And then it's like, we're gonna start. Right, we want some food. Some food. Like, period. You can get into that wealthy. You can pass that gatekeeper of wealth what Mike else is talking to or talking about, and yeah, you can be there, but understand it's a certain level. And even then, it's like bro. Even if you was doing something for people, bro, they still gonna pull you down. That's just reality. You can't make this reality perfect. So it's like you never really can enjoy your food unless you're ignoring it. But like I said, I always can see that it's a dog at my feet if it's looking at me. If somebody watching me, I can feel it. You naturally drop the food out your fork type of shit. Let's say that's true. Like you drop that, hey, you want this? Because you used to drop food, you hand it to somebody else. You, you just wouldn't eat it, maybe. So you give your scraps to other people. Like, we'll consider you a dog in a sense. Like, you'll give your scraps to a dog, but it's scraps. That's why we, as slaves, we eat the scraps of, and that's why we get our soul food from it, why it's not really that good for us. And all that other shit like that. We still ate, but, you know, it's scraps. We get all the butts, the feet. We get the shit least nutritious, the least meaty and shit like that. You know, kidneys, all that shit. The shit that that make you sick and shit like that. Shit you really shouldn't be eating, especially spiritually. But because everything got the energy over there. But if you're spiritually more powerful, ignore what I just said. But just saying on a basic level, everything has an energy property, and if you can overturn it, you're strong enough magician. No arguments here. Hmm. I'm trying to think what I was just talking about before that. Let's roll up. Y'all got 36 minutes. We're gonna roll up. Y'all can take a little break. I'm about to try to remember that because it was some shit. Running up the light bill. Cut that shit. Cut that shit off. Cut that shit off. Let's still not remember, but hey man, wish I could rewind my shit. Guess that's why I should be live. Live, live. I'm live, but I'm unlisted. I don't like people now I'm playing. I'm just getting nervous. I don't like people thinking while I'm thinking. Nah, I'm bullshitting. But I do get nervous. It's just I'm going through deep thought. And I don't like people questioning me while I'm going through deep thought. It's like me meditating and talking at the same time type shit. So people throw me off. Especially on that. Then I'm questioning how these people trying to come at me. I'm just an overthinker. So once I quiet their voice down, I'm getting there. It's easy to because, like I say, you got that other person to go back with. You know, I never really been a person, but I always been good with people. I'm a weird. I'm a dude that's always been in the middle type shit. Like I open up once I get to know you. Be like, damn, this nigga cool as shit. But before I ain't really doing no talking. Even if like I'm around my friend, but if they bring somebody new around, I ain't gonna talk to them much because I don't really know how they think. Especially even now, I think that's like before I just used to do it because I was shy. Now I do it just because I ain't gonna be trying to talk about shit around certain people because I know they just gonna say some basic shit or the usual. Now some people on some genuine vibe shit, I feel them out. And even then, like I put people on game. Like I the room. I like even before I used to get. I had to test your energy first. Like you hit me first. Let me see where you at, so I know where I gotta be at. Let me see your energy. But I think that's also probably been a problem of mine too. Because if you look at sports, you don't want to. Well, you look at boxing, you always go. It's always the first round. But when you try to test your opponent too much, you start out slow. Sometimes you just gotta come out strong and believe in your foundation type shit. But that's some other shit. Wish I remember what I was talking about. Having links in the armor. Trying to just go back over some random shit. Oh, excuse me. Oh well. About being crazy. Maybe it'll take me back there. For the most part, you see how people. For me, I I do videos. That's a way of being. I talk about why do people need to escape so much. And yeah, it's cool. You need to escape, like, cause I talk about stop trying, and I think not being grounded might be another being escapism in a sense, but it's not necessarily bad. It's just is it a season for that or not? I don't know if I want. Yeah, my shit definitely been lagging this whole time, but what can I do? Gotta get it how I live. Best I can do for now. But back into the medication, like yeah, that I think it just go to show how America try to treat crazy hum, hum, human ways. Because we talk about the dystopias and how they try to create babies or fails to create babies. Just aggressive or just behaviors inside them early on before they even born or whatever. Try to so maybe take away certain shit like their DMT or take out their penal gun if that was even possible. Like, and so now you don't dream, now you're more docile and shit like that. Maybe like they say decalcify, maybe do something where it's already calcified in the womb or in the incubation stage. But if they would want to do that with us here, but environment, they would be in, and that's all just human we think they don't like because we truly like we truly thought that's how we thought and shared it with similar, and we also see the common problem, the common denominator. It go into like a work environment, and they be like, with other people, your protection, but it's for the company protection because if you know this person get paid that much and this person get paid this much, now you can go in with that little better working than them, or it's like, well, you go into it with a ball, and they don't like that about that discussion. Yeah, a lot. He said pay, especially who they know. So now you go up to that person and probably pressure on them. And that's always for the at least the case. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, the political correctness, that's a filter for us not to be able to speak our mind and share it with people, or at least keep us. I don't want to say divided, because it's supposed to bring us together in the sense of that's why they do it, but it keeps us in the chaos realm in a sense of I know I talk about chaos being good, but it's a way of understanding and controlling that power. When you just let it go rampant, then you know you fucking up. But let me see how I want to explain it. It pretty much like you know it, bro. Like somebody can say all the right shit, but you can still feel their energy not right. So it keeps you. It might it keep you. It keep you laying in the snakes with you keep you laying in the bed with your enemies type shit, and you don't even know it. And it's like you should know it, and you might be able to work with your enemy in the sense of like maybe you know you smarter than this, so you gotta do this, like in the sense of going to work or whatever. You gotta look at it, but in that same instance, you gotta know, you know, is this person truly looking out for me? And if they're not, what do I have to do for myself? Because every situation not gonna be perfect, so you gotta work out a certain shit, especially being where we at now in this state of the world. But yeah, that is what it is, and with that at least, but. Um, you know, I mean, just the filter. Then just that's just communication wise. But you also can go into how America's. Oh, I talked about sugar. I never really got into just opioids, but period high with that shit. And I mean, the proof is in the pudding, man. Gotta go into that. Guess I'm about to end it here because that's. I wanted to bring up whatever the fuck was on my mind, but it ain't coming back in. Whatever I'm saying now is just. But yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for tuning in. Had some questions in there for you guys to answer. So if I really feel like y'all got some answers for me, hit me. I really do want them answers. And then trust me, if I'll probably go back and listen to it eventually and see what I said. But who knows? I might not even care that much when I hear it. We'll see. I'm out. Deuces.